Today's guest is an outdoorsman and indoorsman. Hell, if the animals have gotten indoors, and he is he's a mid-sized animal control man, and he can handle anything from I'm going to go on from mouse to bobcat style. That includes woodpecker, flying squirrel, deer, hornet beaver, coyote, skunk, bats, and more. That's this man. His company is titled Hawk, Predator, and Wildlife Control. He has been in the game for a while, since he was a child and animals were bothering him. And now he bothers them. He's the dog, the bounty hunter of mid-sized animals. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marty Voiers.
Shine that light on me. I'll sit and tell you my stories. Shine on me, and I will find a song. I will sing it just for you.
If you're hunting like vermin, do you need energy drink?
I drink a lot of coffee.
Do you?
I drink Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew.
Okay, yeah.
I'm on a
honest.
no-carb kick. I went from 260 down to 238 2 days ago, so I'm trying to get some weight back off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what are you leaning up for, to hunt animal?
Oh, just to get rid of that.
Oh, okay.
Kind of hard to get through a crawl space and through an attic door if you're big as hell.
Well, every space is a damn crawl space when you're big, huh, I guess.
Is this, I mean, are you cussing? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, we can say whatever you want.
Okay,
yeah, no,
I just don't want to.
No, I appreciate it, man.
I don't want to say something I shouldn't say. So.
Oh, yeah. The only things I don't say in here usually are, I don't say the N-word. I don't say F-A-G-G-O-T. I don't say that. And I don't say like a lot of British curse words like C-U-N-T. I don't say that. I don't say P-U-S-S-Y. I don't say like labia. I don't say stuff like that.
I don't say none of that anyway.
Okay, yeah. But anything else is good. Or it's fine. It's not good, but it is whatever you want it to be.
I've watched some of your podcasts. I've tried to study and watch some of your podcasts.
Well, I don't know if that's good or not, man. I mean, all of it's a little bit different, I think, first of all, I appreciate you coming in. How do you say your name so I know what I'm saying?
Marty.
Okay.
Voiers. Think this is more than one peeping Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Voyeurs. You have a voyeur or you have a voyeurs?
Oh, yeah. We had voyeurs usually where I'm from. We had, I remember we had to, if you wanted to go out Tom or Pete Tom, and they called it, you had to get a ladder from a guy because nobody around us had a ladder. So we'd go over there and say, look, Wednesday, about 4:35 p.m., we want that ladder, and we get out there and peeping Tom. And I enjoy, as a kid, it was, what?
Where's this at? You're doing this?
I'm from Louisiana.
Louisiana, okay.
So it reminded me of, we didn't have cable for a while. So I know you'd go over to some people's house and it was like watching television almost. The window's even shaped like a dang television. So I remember sitting out there and just, the show isn't that good. It's just a family eating damn, TV dinners and stuff. But it was still local programming, I guess.
But that's just a way to, I don't like to say that. My dad cringes when I do that. But for somebody that doesn't know how to pronounce my name, it's
Voiers.
Voiers, yeah. It's French. So
there you go. Yeah.
And that's the only thing on the euthanasia, I just don't like, because some people don't want to talk about, I say, oh yeah, if they're like, are you going to relocate him? I'm like, well, I'm going to take care of him. That's fine. I make the customer feel good.
Well, some animals, you
got to have to.
You relocate them to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I kind of see it. Some of them, that's life, Well, look, it's an interesting job you have. So, your name is French, I guess, and the French are notorious fur trappers, aren't they? Is that true or not?
I guess they're fur trappers there.
Do you feel that in your genetics ever?
Oh, I trap.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. I sent them guys a ton of pics. I run a winter trap line, predator trap line.
Oh,
this year, I ended up with 66 coyotes and 4 bobcats and a lot of other miscellaneous animals, foxes and raccoons. But I do that every year in the wintertime, starting in November to February 28th. And I'm slow. My business is slow in the winter, and my farming is none in the winter, just for the fact of feeding cattle. And I fur trap. And I go, and that helps my business. Now I do a lot of, in the wintertime, I'll do it for free. I tell, if you got coyote problems, I'll come take care of your coyotes, and I'll do it for free.
Okay. So when you're dealing with a coyote, take me through that process. So somebody calls you and says, "Hey, Bucko, we got a coyote out here. We got something." What's the usual complaint if they don't know that it's a coyote? That it's
getting they have something killing their calves.
Okay.
Which more than likely, it's usually something. The calf dies and the coyote is seen eating on it or tracks, and he gets the blame.
Oh, damn.
But I mean, they'll get a newborn. They'll get a calf while a cow's having it.
It's like
she's defenseless. I didn't mean to. She's defenseless when it's coming out of her. And sometimes they'll grab it then.
That's
she
when
can't
they'll
defend
attack.
them. She can't fight, defend them, and they'll eat the afterbirth. But they'll come after a sick, nature. They'll come after something sick. If it's injured or sick, they'll come after it. But I get a lot of calls for that, raiding chicken houses, chicken coops, or their ducks missing.
Oh yeah, that's just like on that cartoon. Remember that? Wasn't that cartoon where it was always in the hen house? I'm trying to think of what it was. That one with the big rooster.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about a little bit?
Yeah, the big, he had the little trick. He had the bit. I say,
yeah, that guy.
Had the little, yeah. You're running around a little itty bitty chicken.
These fellas right here.
Yeah.
Foghorn Leghorn, dude.
Yeah.
And Foghorn Leghorn, I think that's Dutch, that name. But yeah, he was into, he always had some issue. With something breaking in. So for coyote, so that's fascinating. So we're talking to Mr. Voiers here, and you deal with all types of basically animalia that are problems, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so I want to get immediately back into that coyote question, because that's just, so is it kind of crazy to think that they'll attack during the birth, huh?
Yeah, they'll go after a cow or an animal, deer, cow. They're young, they're defenseless, and they'll try to go after them then in cases. Deer, the fawn, that's one of their main predators is coyote.
Wow.
For the mortality rate for a baby deer, it's a fawn, is coyotes. They'll get the animals when they're weak, sick, and just kind of Mother Nature help them clean up, and they'll get one when it's sick, take it out.
And do you see that as like, it's almost like that's like Mother Nature doing, or do you feel like that's like, damn, it's kind of cheating, or do you feel like that's kind of just the way that Mother Nature works?
I mean, you have something that's like not going to make it through the winter. It's going to starve to death. Mother Nature's taking out something to feed the other, and it's not going to suffer. It's Mother Nature.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes Mother Nature's cruel. She's very cruel sometimes, but
she is. She's really stepmother nature almost sometimes,
There you go.
I feel like, I mean, I
love my stepmoms. I got a great stepmom, so.
Yeah, I mean,
I've got a great mother and a great stepmom.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, your dad picked some good ones, huh?
Oh, yeah. I love my parents. They're the best. They raised me up good, and they're the best.
So now, were you into dealing with animals at a young age? Because if you're a real animal man, then I'm guessing you really got into animalia pretty young, huh?
My grandfather got me into trapping when I grew up going over to the farm every weekend when I was a youngster, and he got me into trapping groundhogs, getting rid of the groundhogs, and started trapping there, and just worked my way up over the years. And he bought me my first traps at the feed store, and it just worked up over time.
And what kind of traps were those first traps?
My first traps were 1.5 leg holds, like foot traps.
Bring that up, Sean. Just want to see what that looks like so we got an idea of it. So now tell me how this thing works here. How does this kind of trap work?
It's a spring trap. When you compress the sides of it, whichever one we're looking at, you compress the sides of it, and it's got a latch and a pan. And when you latch the pan, and then you'll cover it up. You bed the trap down, cover it up. Sometimes I make a bait hole, sometimes I don't, or it's a walk-through set. Or if it's groundhog, I'll place it down in the den for the groundhog. I don't use that method in my business, but growing up trapping, that's how I got rid of the groundhog.
And now, why would you do? So when you say bedding, you put like a leaves and stuff over it, some kind of camo.
In essence, I bed the trap down to where they don't see it.
Okay.
I kind of dig out a hole. You place the trap down, covered up to where they walk in, they don't see it, but they step on it, and they're going after it. Like if it's a coyote or a predator, I use a bait hole, which I'll dig a little hole in the ground and put commercial lure bait in it. So the coyote's concentrating on that and will dig it out, and then get the trap while he's working the set, going after the bait.
Okay, so what kind of bait do you use? So for groundhog, you won't use a bait. You'll kind of just wait for their weight to hit it?
Well, I mean, if you loot now, I don't. In my when I was a kid, I'd use a leg hold trap. But if I'm at a customer's house, can't really use a foothold trap in somebody's front yard. We use a good cage as I use as a Comstock cage, a double door cage, and I'll set it in front of the hole and make it a deposit to where when the groundhog comes out, he has to go in that trap. He has no option but to go in there to get outside. So that way I can say I catch 3 groundhogs and we don't catch anything for a week. I can say there's no more groundhogs in that hole, and then we can seal the hole up and we're done.
So this trap right here, this is a single door trap, you said?
Yes, sir. Well, it's double door, single door, but Comstock. It's one of my favorite traps, one of the most popular traps with the nuisance wildlife operators.
So that's just pretty basic. It looks like it has like kind of this, like almost a teeter-totter door where once you go through it, it just closes back and you can't get out.
It's spring-loaded door on it, and it's got the triggers in the middle, so when raccoon, groundhog comes through, he hits those triggers in the middle, and it's a spring-loaded door, and it's not like a Tractor Supply cage trap. It's spring loaded. It goes down hard enough to where if one gets caught in it, could kill it. Underneath of it, it could get it.
Wow. Okay, and so what animal, honestly, when you see an animal and you trap one, which one does seem like the happiest to get trapped? Is there any that's like, thank God for getting me out of this dang?
Oh, none of them are very happy.
Really?
No.
Because I wonder sometimes if there's animals out there that are ready to be domesticated, and they're just like, please, God, come and somebody take me out of this damn food chain, because I'm sure for some animals it is just, it's a dirty world out there.
Probably the most laid back creature that I trap is probably a possum. Wise, I mean, you come up to it, if it's in a cage, it'll be curled up asleep usually, playing possum, or if it's I'll have them get into my trap when I'm predator trapping. And you can catch anything in these traps. Anything. A possum's a scavenger. Okay. I call them ground buzzards. What I call them. They eat everything. They'll eat anything dead or whatever on the ground.
Oh yeah, forest shrimp they call them sometimes.
Yeah, and I've had them. I mean, it sounds nasty. The dead cow, I'll set sometimes around it, and I've seen them cut. They'll go in. They'll eat their way inside of a cow.
And how do they get in? Through like the butt, really?
Yeah, through the rear end. Yeah, wow. They eat their way right in. I mean, it's kind of gross, but when you deal with, it doesn't really bother you. But I raise cattle too. I have been around cattle all my life. That's just part of Mother Nature. The old way we did it, you drag the cow to the holler and let Mother Nature consume it.
Yeah.
Give back to her, let her consume. Yeah, no. Now you should take it, really to the landfill. But we usually have a holler or dig a hole with the loader, maybe tractor and loader, and bury it, cover it up.
Wow.
But back to a possum. To get them, they're the most docile. I mean, you can catch them. I can pick them up and hold them. Their main defense is they snarl, which
they show those teeth, don't they?
Yeah, it's a lot of them call them grinners. So right before you hit them, right before they get run over, they grin real big at you because that's their main defense. Is they just grin and hiss at you to scare you away.
Oh, damn! Like my ex-girlfriend.
They can't fight or do it. You can't do it, but they can't defend themselves anyway, and that's what. And they are actually marsupial. They're they're rather cool. They have the pouch like a kangaroo. I mean, they're a really neat animal.
Wow. So they have the pouch. Can you bring up that pouch, Sean? So they have the pouch. It's I didn't know that they had that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yep. They carry their young in a pouch.
And now, can you get is there do you know how many they could fit in there?
No, I did litter probably 5 or 6, about an average litter.
Okay.
But I mean, they'll stay in there till they get so big, Nate. It's obviously too big. Then they'll stay with her, ride on her back like you got in the pictures.
Okay.
But they're a pretty gentle creature. Other than raccoon's not happy to see you. Coyote's not very happy. Even a groundhog's not happy.
Really?
They'll chatter their teeth. They'll bite their teeth at you. Just like a little noise, try to scare you. That's their defense. That's everything. The skunk sprays. Raccoons just mean. They'll just come after you. But,
now, tell me this, sir. Is what is a vermin? How do you get upgraded to vermin? You know what I'm saying? Is there like a some rural kind of courtroom where they're like, "You're a damn vermin now, buck"? Like, do they? If something causes enough problems, is it then a vermin? When does it go from pest to vermin to when swamp thing or whatever?
Invade your house. When raccoons are. I mean, they don't bother you in nature. You see raccoons all the time on the road or running around. They're not a pest until they make their way in your house. They get in your attic to go through your soffit or chimney or whatever and get into your attic, your house. Have their babies. They the feces everywhere. Raccoons use a toilet. They use the bathroom like a cat in the same place.
Oh, really?
So if you got raccoons that have been in there for quite a while, you have quite a mess.
So if you see a bunch of coon duty somewhere, that's a giveaway, real sign.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah. I'll open up attic. I've opened up attic doors and had it dump right on me before. Where the doors swing down. I mean, it's always
like
you're always opening your duct real easy to make sure there's not going to be, because that's usually the bat guano or raccoon feces is going to be right there on top of the attic door also.
Like a surprise party.
Yeah,
almost.
oh yeah, definitely be surprised you get that dumped onto you. Not what you want to do.
I had a bat attack me. I was trying to make out with a girl. I was about 14 in an attic. And I don't know if this bat knew her or what, but that thing fucking came after me, boy. That thing fucking came out. That bat might have been I don't know if her dad had passed and it was a spirit. Yeah, or something. Yeah, come back as a damn bat, boy. But this thing did not want me putting my fangs in her neck, that's for sure.
You were just in his house. Yeah. You were invading his area.
I probably was.
Yeah.
We wandered up into an attic of a not abandoned house, but a house that hadn't even been built yet, so pre-abandonment. Mm-hmm. Now, raccoons, though, they really, I feel like, kind of they get looked at, I feel like, as Mother Nature's kind of hitman a little bit. They really have come into their own as being just burglars. I think every time you see them, they look so guilty. They look like they
call them bandits. They have that kind of a mask on them. I mean, when they see our houses or your house, they just see a tree. They see, the neighborhoods and subdivisions are tearing down more woods and more environment to build the houses, so they're running out of places, and they don't have their main predator's man.
Wow.
And so they when they look at your house, just like any of these animals, they just see a big tree, a funny looking tree. They can climb right up the siding, right up a downspout, and they'll find a way in. And they'll make your home their home. So
they just see your house as a tree, really. That's it.
I mean, that's what they see it as. Just a different type of structure. They want to be the female raccoons. They want to be up high. They want if they're not in like a cavity of a tree, it's where they would be in the nature, because they want to be up high so that when they have their young, they're away from predators. They're away from things that could hurt their babies. One of their main concerns when they're having their babies is male raccoons. Another one of Mother Nature's things is a male raccoon will search out the female and kill those babies to make her come into heat again, which is just Mother Nature, another cruel way of Mother Nature. It's just a cycle. It's just Mother Nature. And so the mama raccoons, or sow raccoons, what we call them, they get hide up in the attics, and they'll make their dens trying to keep away from everything else, and the male raccoons.
So could it even be the own male that knocked them up?
I mean, it could be. I don't know.
Oh my God, dude! This sounds like a damn John Grisham.
I mean, it's possible. Some of technique that we use, eviction fluid, which is mainly raccoon piss. And you can take it. I'm not a big fan of it because I like to catch the raccoon and remove it. No, I've removed it out of your house. But you can take eviction fluid and put it around their entry hole and in the attic, and the female raccoon will think there's a male present and take her babies and shag out of there.
Okay, so you mean if you want to get her out of there?
Yeah, some places if you use like all humane, no trapping, they can use eviction fluid, and that can make the female think there's a male present, and she'll get her babies and get out. But you still there's a raccoon there. Right. It's going to go somewhere else. It's going to be somebody else's problem. I mean, I like to trap them and get rid of it. That way I can tell the customer, hey, I've got mama, I got 5 kits out of your attic and sealed up, and we're good to go.
And we got the problem solved. Otherwise, once you put that piss down, they're just looking. You're scaring them off, but you don't know where you're scaring them to.
Yeah,
you haven't really solved the problem.
They'll either leave or they'll just go even deeper.
You just carry in the one. Yeah, you haven't really solved the problem. Now, what about this? I want to get back a little bit to this. I mean, it's almost like a Shakespeare story that the female can have children, have babies. Raccoon can have babies. And a man raccoon will come and kill the babies while they're being born.
Well, after she has them.
After she has them. Will the male raccoon eat them or just kill them?
He usually just kills them.
Okay, kill them. And then kill them just so the female will go back into heat so then he can get laid, basically.
Yeah.
I mean,
you could put it that. I mean, it's not the only. A lot of animals do it. Lions, they'll kill the cubs. The other animals like it'll kill their offspring or the offspring.
It just hurts me, man.
To make them come back into heat. So
it just hurts my feelings.
I mean, that's not. I don't come across that very often, but I mean, I've found it where I'll come do an attic inspection and just find a bloodbath. Just little young. I mean, little kits. I mean, size of the pop can. And
Jesus.
Just be ripped open, just horrible, where the male raccoons come in and killed them all. I mean, it happens. You don't see it very often, which I don't see it very often.
It's like
some people may.
It's like the first Forest 8 kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's some. Like I said, Mother Nature's cool sometimes. It's just.
The little man is who you want. You want that little man. If you want a baby, if you want something coming out of your body, you want it to be the little man. Hell, if you want something going into your body, you almost want it to be the little man or, not too big of a man. And that's what I'm talking about. Mint Mobile. If you're tired of getting ripped off by big wireless providers, well, that's where you need Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month, 15 buckaroos a month. And I thought, well, what's the catch, Mint Mobile? But after speaking with them and actually after using their service, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be surprised. But I tried Mint Mobile, and the secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. That's right. By cutting out the retail stores, there's no crazy overhead costs. That's how Mint Mobile does it. That's how they save you money. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. If you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/THEO. That's mintmobile.com/Theo. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/THEO. If you're going to die, baby, die a liquid death, Today's episode is brought to you by Grubhub Perks. We eat. We can't help but eat. We're eaters. If you see somebody, they're eating probably, or they've eaten recently, or they're planning on eating. Isn't that fascinating? Every person you will come across today or have come in contact with has recently dined or is considering dining. Well, if you're going to be spending that money dining, why not get rewarded for it? Get deals on the food you love with Grubhub Perks. Grubhub has all the food you love from all your favorite local restaurants. Eat local. Grubhub food delivery. It's value with the food. You get the perks. Get the perks. Grubhub, what you love. Take a break from cooking. What are you cooking? You're no chef. Your name's Diane. Quit cooking. Get perks on pizza, tacos, sushi, and more. Anything, all the time. Get the perks. Try something new with Grubhub and all the local restaurants in your area. Try all the cuisines. Get the food you love with perks from Grubhub. Grub what you love. Now, here's a question that came in from some fella right here who's probably out of work, but also seemed like a decent fella right here. Here we go.
Hey, Theo. I'm Noam. Come at you from London, England. Huge fan. I've got a question for the real-life wildlife control man, which is a question that Theo actually brought up on one of the Joe Rogan episodes, which is that how are these raccoons not a bigger problem? I mean, you must deal with it. You're on the front line of this stuff. So tell us, what's going on with these raccoons? Gang.
Gang, brother. Yeah. How are they not a bigger problem? It seemed like they're after sex. You're saying they're doing sex in the attic, and they're, they're willing to kill children to get sex, and they're obviously breaking into people's homes. Like I see them in the recycling bin constantly, or I see them usually in the trash, and you ever see that one weird raccoon that's in the recycling bin? It's like, what is he? Yep. He's like he's reading in there or something, But I'll see the ones in, it's like. You'll go out at night. Here's what I find fascinating. You'll go out you'll drive through a neighborhood, and it's peaceful, regular-looking neighborhood. Everything seems normal, and there's only 3 or 4 trees in the dang neighborhood. It wouldn't if you asked everybody all day, is there any raccoons in this neighborhood? People put 0 on the form, and you come by at about 12:40, I feel like, or 11:15 p.m. And you'll see them in little groups of 3 just cruising along, man. It's like they can hide they hide right before your damn eyes, it seems like. So how are they not a bigger problem, and what kind of problem are they, these raccoons? And you can be honest with me.
I mean, they're my raccoons every year for my business, it's getting bigger and bigger.
There you go.
I mean, it's getting to be more and more of a problem.
I knew it.
Like the more we build and go into the farmland, we're taking out their habitat. They're, like I said, the only natural real predator is man, is a car, and disease, which they get overcrowded like anything. They'll get disease, will get in them, distemper, or they'll get rabies, and they'll kill some of them off. But they are, a lot of people have them and don't know they have them.
Really?
You might, if you're in a house, you might hear something every once in a while, and they're like, "Oh, that's just raccoon.
Yeah.
No big deal."
Or
they
ghost.
don't come in here and bother me in my living room, because I'll be in houses in attics. Oh, we just started hearing it last week. And it's obvious they've had it for years.
Wow.
Just some of people just don't know it. They're sneaky. They're sometimes quiet. You got the insulation in your attic, and they don't make a whole lot of noise, or you overlook it as something else, or just don't want to know what it is.
And are they flame retardant, raccoons? Are they flammable animals? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like their skin is so thick, it seems like they wouldn't be. In an attic, it just seemed like a good place for fire, or something like bad to happen.
They're very tough creatures. I've had had one particular job this spring, early spring or late winter, and it took us a month and 3 days for I caught 4 raccoons out of an attic. In a month and 3 days, the final raccoon came out.
Oof.
And
what was he doing? Just hands up in denial?
Well, they were juvenile, young raccoon, last year's raccoons, just denning. And just they're trap shy and won't come out. In the summertime, it's not unusual to have a raccoon go a week, maybe 2 weeks in the summer, and an attic could be 140 degrees. They're a tough creature. Stay in there with no food or water. Sometimes they can get water. Your air conditioning will have a condensation pan.
They'll sip off that bastard.
They can get a little bit of water off
they're
that.
They're sneaky, man. They're just so damn sneaky. That's what gets me. They're just they're the real Andy Dufresnes of the damn animal kingdom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're wild, man. Is there any animal as sneaky as a raccoon? Let's put the crown on the prince, brother. Is there any animal as sneaky as a dang raccoon?
I gotta say bobcats.
There you
sneaky.
go.
That's. I don't get the calls, for like they don't invade your homes like a raccoon does, but they got to be pretty sneaky. They're pretty sneaky. Rats. I do a lot of rat work.
Oh,
They can be pretty sneaky.
So do I, brother.
They're hard to get, and they're sometimes a pretty big challenge to get the rats. They're pretty sneaky. They don't like change, and you mess with them, they'll change their routes and where they come in, and they're a sneaky animal. They're all kind of sneaky, but those come to mind as being the most sneaky to me.
Do you look at it as a competition when you wake up in the morning? Do you kind of look at it as I kind of wonder how you envision your position in the world. Do you look at it as like you're kind of like that you're against the animals, it's you against them? Do you look at it as you're just helping people? Like, just kind of what's the vibe that you have to take on each day to really get out there and solve some of these animal issues that are in the world?
I love animals.
Oh, you love them?
I love my work. I love animals. I love working with them, getting to handle them. I've got lots of pets. I'm an animal lover, but I like helping people and satisfaction. Somebody has a house and they have a large colony of bats. And when I can go in and seal that house up and evict those bats, get rid of them, and clean up their attic like it was brand new. I mean, that's some satisfaction.
Yeah, I could see
sit
that.
back and say, "Hey, I took care of this." I mean, it's different than saying like, "Well, you sold a new album or you sold a new car or signed a new deal." So, yeah, I got rid of those bats.
Yeah.
I mean, it's satisfaction. It's kind of a different. It's each his own. It's kind of a different satisfaction, but. I mean, it's very satisfying. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love getting every morning. It's something different. It's something new. It may be the same thing, but it's something. No raccoon job, no bat job, nothing is the same. It's always a little bit different, a little bit different scenario, or how you have to set up on it, or what happens, or it's all a little bit different. It's all a challenge. Sometimes it's very challenging.
Tell me about it. Take me on a call for something where you like. I just had a vision of you like walking through the zoo, just kind of looking at the animals, being like, "I could do all of this," That's kind of Clint Eastwood, if you would,
Oh, I mean,
You ever?
we go through the Cincinnati Zoo a couple of years back, and I was, like the raccoons or something. I'm like, oh yeah, like the river otters. I'm like, yeah, I like otter jobs. Those are everybody sees them as loving. I mean, they are loving creatures.
Otters?
Very neat and pretty. But they'll come into, if they can find your pond or lake, they'll wipe out your fish.
No way.
Kill them all.
Oh.
And
so,
then
but they
they're
do the
not
tricks. They do the tricks that make you think they're being good.
Oh yeah, they're cute, but they're just there for your fish.
Oh.
I mean, they're they can be. That's what they're cute until they start taking away something, and then they're a pest. Like you said, then they're cute. Oh, they're cute and cuddly. Then they start
till the tuna's gone. Then they're
until the tuna's gone, and then they got to go. Then they're a pest. Then the people don't like them. They got to go.
Now, why does an otter look so cute, you think, to us? Because they do those tricks. I've seen them do the tricks in the zoo. You get by the zoo cage or the water zoo, and you'll see them do those tricks, and it makes me feel like, oh, man, they're lovely, they're this and that. But you don't notice the two otters in the back beating the fuck out of a carp. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't notice the hit. You know what I'm saying? You don't notice the other side of the of the aluminum,
I mean, they look cute.
Or
they
the
groom
mercury.
themselves.
Yeah, they look
so
cute.
They groom themselves
they
like
do.
a cat does. And when they do that, it looks cute. Oh, look at, they're grooming themselves, and they're always where their hair, they're oily to where it helps them shed the water.
Oh, yeah.
And so they just make them look so cute.
Oh, yeah, they got this summer. They look like they got their hair dyed for the summer. They're ready to kind of, like they're going to the beach, like they're going to be in damn Destin all summer.
I mean, it's like a baby raccoon. I mean, I handle lots of baby, and they're so cute and cuddly, but they grow up to be big raccoons. And then they can be very destructive. Same way as a little baby groundhog's cute and cuddly looking. But they're going to grow up to dig underneath their house and, dig underneath their foundation, cause it to settle and crack. And, I mean, they're all cute until they destroy something, and then they're a pest.
I got it.
And then there's guys like me that got to come in and take care of them.
Okay, so now we're seeing kind of the evolution from them just being an animal to them becoming a pest. They become a pest when they are bothering you.
Yeah.
When they're bothering something, when they're causing some disruption in our world. Now, is it kind of weird because we're really causing a disruption in their world?
Yeah. We're the one invading their territory.
Yeah, like you buy a piece of land, it's like, it's not like you get to go to the courthouse and 9 groundhogs get to show up and be like, hey, what's the deal?
I mean, you buy a farm, and they level it out and build subdivisions. Those groundhogs are still there.
Right.
And they're going to come up to your front porch, under your bushes, up against your barns or your garage, and they're going to dig their holes because you're in their world. That's their area. And then they're cute and cuddly and not really a big harm when they're out in nature, other than a cow or horse, stepping in the hole, maybe breaking their leg, something like that. But then when they invade your house, then they're a pest, and then they got to go. Most people don't ever encounter something like that until they become a pest.
Right. Right, yeah, because you don't notice it really.
Yeah, they're neat. Oh, look at the groundhog in the neighbor's yard over there. And then next summer, when that groundhog had babies, and some of their babies come to your house or grown, start digging, then it's not cute anymore. Then they call us.
It is interesting how animals go from that. There's that real fine line from cute to pest, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's that real fine line.
Baby raccoons, they're adorable. I mean, they're so cute.
My grandmother didn't really like me, and whenever she died, or she was still alive, but we didn't get along well. But the lady, I remember this lady told me one time, my grandma didn't like me. This was her friend. her friend told me that, and her friend had a raccoon on her when she told me. Her friend kept a raccoon as a pet. Do you see a lot of people keeping animals? And I remember thinking, well, yeah, anyway, I don't know why I told you that, but I remember just thinking, well, what in the hell? Why did my grandmother even have this lady as a friend who has a damn raccoon? Why is this lady her friend, but she doesn't like me? That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But anyway, you see people starting to take on animals where it seems a little bit like it's more about them than it is about the animal. It's a little bit more
Status.
Yeah, there's something going on sometimes. They're trying to have a little bootleg ass Noah's Ark in their bathtub or something. Have you run into some stuff like that where somebody calls you, is like, hey, look, buddy, like I had a small, I had a small dream of doing a little bit of Dr. Doolittle shit in the garage.
I've had
and suddenly things have gotten out of control.
Had a couple. It mainly happens on like a rental property where somebody's had a pet raccoon.
Okay, so it starts with so it's usually raccoons.
Yeah, it's usually a raccoon. Sometimes squirrels. Somebody finds a young raccoon.
Oh yeah.
Kid. Something happens. They find a little young raccoon, not scared of humans, and they take it and they try to make it a pet. Which is
what do they do?
I don't know about Tennessee's laws because I'm not licensed here, but in Kentucky, it's against the law to have a pet. Any animal that's indigenous to the state: deer, raccoon, turkey.
Okay, so take me back. Hold on, slow that down for me and for our listeners. But so, what does that mean? Any animal that's indigenous to the state?
Any animal it's a common animal in the state. Raccoon, possum, fox, squirrel.
You cannot have those as pets.
Yeah, you're not allowed to keep the wildlife as a pet. Even like rehabilitate. Even if you think you're doing, you're not supposed to. Not saying they're going to come get you.
Right.
But
there's some laws.
They do. I have some conservation officer friends, and they do receive calls and complaints about people pet deer, pet raccoons, and they're still a wild animal.
Damn.
The raccoons, they can be. You can have a raccoon, and if you Google it, they'll turn. A raccoon might be fine for a couple of years, and then they've turned and attacked children, toddlers, babies in their sleep. They're still a wild animal. Just
So what usually, how do people, first let me get into if people have a raccoon, what do they try to do to have it really be part of their little life? Like I see sometimes they'll put a little diaper on it, or they'll put a damn little necklace on it or something. You see them maybe get a little bit of a, I've seen one had a little, somebody made it a little damn amulet thing for its wrist. You know what I'm saying? Like you see people really try and make them human in some way. Have you come into somebody? Have you ever, if you had to go and you find something and it's wearing a damn, Izod shirt or something, or have you ever found anything like that where somebody's got a damn homemade outfit? Got some, little baby Birkenstocks on a damn on a raccoon or anything like that?
No, I've run across people with pet raccoons.
And
it's cool. That's their prerogative.
They got them dressed up or not?
No, they'll have. I've seen them with collars on them. Little decorative collars, but not dressed. If you put something on a raccoon, it's going to pull it off. They're very smart animal. They're going to pull it off.
God.
I've seen people pet squirrels. You get them as a baby. They're still a wild animal.
And so is there something you can do to keep it domesticated so it doesn't turn wild again?
Everything can turn. I don't personally know. I've raised a few deer up for a little bit of time. As I had one that got on the job, and I kept it for a while.
And then it turned.
I took it to the rehabilitator, and I get doe or fawn calls. Baby deer get abandoned. Like on a deer. We're getting off the subject here. The worst thing people say, I found a baby deer, is mama when she has her baby, she'll place it away from her. She keeps away from it as much as she can, not to put any scent on it. That way a predator won't find it. So when she beds the baby deer down, she'll put it down and she'll leave and go away from it. She's just a couple hundred yards away, but that way if something comes, it don't get her baby. And people will say, here's an abandoned deer.
Oh, I'm going to help it. I'm going to save it.
And then once you touch it, it's done. She's not going to take that baby back because it's got your human scent on it. And then they'll either try to raise it themselves, or they'll call me or call a game warden. And then we take them, I've kept them for several weeks, just getting them back on their feet, bottle feeding them, and then take them to a rehabber, in which they're a licensed rehabber, and they raise them up. They'll raise them up to where they can survive on their own and release them back in the wild.
Okay.
And they do that with all. They do that with all animals. I mean, baby raccoons, we can take them to a rehabber, and they'll bottle feed them, raise them up, and release them back into the wild.
Okay. Let's get a question that came in from one of our listeners here. We got a lot of great listeners on this podcast, and real grateful for that. And here's a man right here that had a question about something. Decent man.
What up, Theo? What up, Nick? What up, animal policeman? I got a question for you guys. What's harder to catch in the streets? One of these young cats or one of them dogs out there? What's harder to catch out in the streets when you're working? By the way, Theo, thank you for that gang merch. Just came in.
Oh, man.
Official. That new edition with the hit her in the front, baby.
People make a lot of bootleg merchandise and sell it, and that's bootleg, brother. Sorry, that's unbelievably bootleg. Dear God. I don't know. So that's a good question, man.
That's a good question. A lot of wildlife operators will not touch a cat.
Okay.
We don't normally ever fool with a canine because you have dog pound, dog warden, but there's no cat warden.
Okay.
And I myself, I do cat work. I do feral cat work.
Oh, you do cat work? Oh, you do cat work?
I do some cat work.
Be honest, you do cat work?
Yeah, I do feral cat work.
Okay, I'm just saying. Now, hold on. Who's feral cat?
Just a wild, not a domesticated. It's just a cat that's running wild that you can't get close to. I'm sure if you drive around, I mean, most towns and cities you drive and you'll see cats running everywhere.
Oh yeah, we said
those
that
are
growing
cats
up.
that just scavenge off whatever they can find. You can't touch them. They're just wild.
Oh, dude, I grew up in the stray animal belt, man. We had cats everywhere. We had animals passing through town. We had damn parakeet. I mean, everything came through town. Groups of them, you know. Yeah, I remember one summer seeing about 40 cats out there.
Well, you get for instance, like a townhome community, and they'll go from 1 or 2 cats and, little old ladies feeding them. She feels sorry for them.
To 60, 70 cats, and they attack her while she's sleeping.
Well, a couple of female cats, they get bred. They have kittens within, less than a year. Those kittens will breed. And then another year, those kittens will breed. So
it's
you
like that
see how
story.
it can go really. Then you got all these cats that are living. They're going to get disease because there's so many of them. Mm-hmm. They get all over your cars. They crap all and pee all around your bushes. It stinks. But you can't get close to them. So that's when they get up. I'll do fair. I'm not going to turn down work. I try to help my community. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's hard. Trying to find homes for them. Some I have to struggle sometimes to find shelters that'll take the cats.
And when you pick them up, you put them in the back seat or front seat? Where do you put them?
They're in the back of the truck. In the cage.
Really?
Oh yeah. I don't. A feral cat can be very mean because they'll reach right through that cage. If it's big enough, they'll try to reach through there. A scratch from a cat can get can get infected because all that dirt and stuff on their nails when they scratch you. And some of them call it cat scratch fever. Yeah.
We used to play that at the library.
I've been scratched by cats trying to handle them with my big gloves on, and they'll get real infected. They'll get you got to.
And that was a song too. Whose song was that? Bring that up. Yeah, play a little bit of that, man. That's Ted Nugent. So when you hear this, I bet you should play this. This should be your dang alarm when you wake up in the morning.
Going in.
Yeah, huh?
But they can. I could go to a job like that and maybe capture 30 cats.
No. Cat scratch fever. That's good, man.
You just got to, with any wildlife, you got to be careful. Wear proper PPE. Right. When I fool with the cats, I'll wear bite-proof gloves that come up to about my elbows.
Really?
That way they can't scratch me. I don't want to get full of getting infected and have to nurse a wound. It's hard enough doing my work anyway. But we don't do any dogs. No, that's getting too. I'll do cats. If I do a cat job, it has to be a certain. I won't like if you just pissed at the neighbor's cat. I'm not going to come do that.
Oh, I wouldn't do that, man. I used to piss around my bed when I was growing up, though, dude. I'll tell you this. This is a true story. So when I was growing up, I was real scared, right? We grew up in a pretty scary area. And I remember hearing when I was young, and I've talked about this a bunch on this podcast, but I remember hearing when I was young, if animals smell urine, they won't come by. That's what I remember hearing. So I was so scared that I would pee, or I would stand on my bed at night and pee around it in like a semicircle so that no animals came to get me because I was so scared of like, yeah, I never got attacked by anything, or anything indoors. But yeah, it's just crazy to think that as a kid, that you have, just that you hear stuff like that and how to heart you can take it as a child. When you say that there's no dog police, I start to see that there's probably some jurisdiction issues. Do you ever run into jurisdiction issues where the dog catcher has got issue with you because you're trying to,
I don't do any dogs.
And why not? You can be honest with me.
Because it's somebody's pet. There's not that many.
So there's more emotion involved
wild
in it.
Dogs.
Huh?
You're getting too much. Even with the cats, I'll do a job and I'm like, this is going to be the neighbor's cats. And I can't. Usually a cat problem is at like a shopping or a restaurant. The employees are getting bombarded by all these stray cats that are around the dumpsters.
Oh, I'll tell you
stuff
another
like
story.
that. Now I don't go into, Betty in the neighborhood's got a cat and she wants you to get rid of it because she's pissed at the neighbor and it's her cat. No, there's too much legal issue there and bad publicity. I
right.
don't want to,
now that's a good point too.
That's why you don't want to get in there. A lot of my friends, they won't touch a cat job just for that fact. I'm picky about I get a lot like factories, power plants. Will get cats will come in. People dump cats off. They ride in your vehicles up in the engine compartment when it's cold. And then they multiply, and they got to go. It's a health risk.
Usually, you drop them at the power plant, they're going to go somehow. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's kind of that. A lot of people used to do that. They'd drop them off at the power plant and let it happen. Let it kind of work out. That cat scratch fever right there, bro.
Go.
But how about this? So what I'm trying to figure out is, so when it comes to the domestic animals, that's not really your line of work.
No.
How did you get from your grandfather gives you the trap and you're trapping stuff around the way? How do you then get into the echelon where you stay in that vein for most of your youth and childhood, and then you just get into it as a profession? When did that start?
Well, I grew up hunting, fishing, trapping.
Okay.
My grandfather taught me everything, and then I get into the job world, worked a couple jobs, and then I worked for my last one was for a rock mine close to where I live, underground mine, and I still trapped, on this, just little stuff. And somebody would call me, hey, I've got groundhogs in my barn. Can you come get rid of them? I'm like, yeah, I could probably do that. And I come over and trap them. They're like, well, here's $20, or here's a 6-pack, or give me a little bit of something.
Oh yeah.
And I've got this raccoon. I heard you trap. Can you come get rid of it? And then I started looking, thinking, no, I can make money at this. I could do this for real. I started reaching out, looking on Facebook, finding other wildlife guys. One of them taught me a lot of stuff. My mentor, Ronnie Vincent, which is about 150 miles away from me. And he kind of took me under, told me how, get me started, just kind of get tips where new guys getting into the business. And just evolved from there. Went from trapping, loving to trap. You got to be a trapper to do this. You just can't. You can't just go buy traps. You could go buy traps and do it, but you got to know how to lure the animal in, what baits work best, what areas they're going to use to come, runways or travel way. You got to have a little bit of background in it where it really helps to do that. So it just evolved from trapping as a kid, loving animals, to wanting to change a career. So I quit my other job as a miner and was already farming, so farming full time, and then I started my wildlife business.
And so Ronnie you kind of worked as an apprentice in some way under, Ronnie just giving you a lot of just guidance.
If I had a problem, I'd call him. I was on the phone with him every day.
He knew what was going on,
and it's like, man, I've got this. What's the best way? I can catch a squirrel outside somewhere. What's the best way to catch it on a house? And I got to, I had to study and take my test through the state Fish and Wildlife to be a nuisance control operator, and had to study guide. And I bought NUCOA, which is just an organization for the wildlife operators, and some of their online courses and some of their books and literature to just get more from animal trapping in the wild to adapting to your house trapping.
Okay, right on.
It's the difference from trapping a raccoon in somebody's barn to making a positive set on a house, and it's in your soffit and you're 25, 30 feet off the ground with a trap upside down under the soffit, with trying to screw it down and attach it to your side of your house.
Do you ever have to fingerprint or dust for prints or do any kind of track? Is there any detective type style work? Yeah.
One thing that we use a lot now is cameras. I I use Spy Point cell cameras that sends the pictures through your cell phone. There's other ones, Arlo cameras that do video, and we use that. I've got 3 going on jobs now. I mean, we all use that to monitor. Are they coming and going here? So I'll put that camera up, and now it'll send an alert to my phone. I know when that raccoon's coming and going.
And they're motion sensitive?
Well, yeah, it's motion sensitive. Another trick that we use, that I've used, if I suspect something's coming and going, don't really know what it is, I'll take flour. Put some flour down on a piece of cardboard, and when they step through that, they'll leave their tracks.
We do that. We used to do that for Santa, you know?
Yeah, to see if Santa come through.
Yeah. And one time it was my damn brother. He'd been drinking, and he damn came through. And he actually, speaking of urinating on stuff, he urinated on something. What type of animal has the most sex out there, I wonder? When people think, because a lot of animals, you see a lot of animals and you'll see them with their children, but you don't hear about the sex a lot of times. Is there a lot of animals where the actual mating becomes a problem for a homeowner, where that is the issue a lot of times?
I mean, I don't think that's really an issue. I mean, I've never had somebody call and say, well, these raccoons keep having sex, can you come and get rid of them? I've never really had that. I mean,
could you see it happening possibly?
Well, it's all in the cover of dark. I mean, they're nocturnal animals. They only come out at night, and that's something they're probably not going to do in your front yard for you.
But yeah, that's true. Yeah. I guess would they get into the house to mate? I guess
they'll be mating. A raccoon will mate. They'll mate. They won't go in the house to mate.
They mate outdoors.
They'll mate somewhere when she comes in the heat and she finds a suitor and she accepts him and they mate, and then she'll seek out a den place to have her babies, which would be your attic or under your house.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't go in your house to mate. Yeah,
okay.
They're going to mate. She's going in her house to keep away from that guy. She don't want him back. She wants to keep away from him and anything else that could hurt her babies.
Right. It's like Planned Parenthood almost a little bit, kind of.
Yeah.
Or something you get a pamphlet for there. Let's get another question that came in right here. What do we have showing that really some people are inquiring? Man, do you feel okay? I want to make sure you feel comfortable. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm loving it now.
Okay, good. Good, man. Yeah, no, this is all really cool information, man. Just little pieces of it are just so fascinating. It's just like things you just wouldn't think about. So let's keep going. What do we got here? We got a young fella right here who's got an animal.
What's up, Theo? What's up, Animal Wrangler? This is Cody from Arkansas. I was just calling to ask, what is like the biggest injury or anything that you've got from trying to wrangle an animal? Anyways, thanks, guys. Gang, gang.
Yeah, how violent is the game? Is it an ACL? What happens out there? Is it carpal tunnel? What happens when you're dealing with these animals?
My biggest injury is I've had 2 ladders break on me. That's my biggest injury-wise. It's put me in a hospital for a little bit. No, nothing broke. Just I've had 2 ladders fail. When I go up and down the ladders, might be 30 times a day for me, and I'm small time, and that you're going to have something happen. Actual animals, had one happen last summer for this nice lady as a church parsonage in area where I work at, and had raccoons coming in her house, then through the attic, normal spots in the soffit. So I catched her out. She calls me, hey, you've got a raccoon. So I come over, and she's out back, and she's it's the parsonage. I guess it would have been the pastor's wife or family. Yeah. And so I'm talking to her, and she's asking me these questions. So I'm telling her we're going to put another trap back up there, ma'am. And I have my assistant, Tim, my one employee. He was already putting another trap back up over the hole. And as I was talking to her, I kind of let my guard down. I reached down and grabbed the trap. I picked it up from the top. I had it sitting horizontal, up and straight up and down. And I grabbed the end of it and stuck my finger into the cage where she could find it, and she grabbed a hold of me, and needless to say, I let out pretty good scream and a few words I shouldn't have in front of the
pastor's wife.
I felt kind of bad, really bad. Apologized for her. Bled all over everywhere. It was a pretty good wound, but I have I've been vaccinated for rabies.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Well, now, so in that instance, you had already a raccoon in the cage, and you just put your hand too close to it.
Well, I stuck my hand, so the cage is straight up and down.
Right.
And I'll put my hands through the end of it to where the door is, there's nothing there. So I'll just put my fingers through the cage and pick it up.
Right.
Well, I was talking to her and looked away as I was reaching for the cage and just wasn't looking, just stupid mistake. Stuck my fingers in where she could get him. She went right after him and didn't want to let go. Was to grab and trying to get my finger. I mean, they rip his finger off. I mean,
Really? They're pretty strong.
I've been coon hunting and I've talked to coon hunters before. We'd have coon kill a dog. A big boar coon kill a dog. I mean, they're a bad animal now.
Are they?
You definitely don't want them biting your finger. I mean, it bit right through my fingernail. Wow. I mean, it was pretty painful. You don't want that. You don't want to do it at the preacher's house.
Yeah.
That's the wrong place to.
Well, at least at least there they could pray for you, baby boy.
She was sympathetic. She understood. Offered it to go, she went and got me some water to wash it off, and she's really nice. She understood.
Let's see what that animal looks like.
Oh, and you can get him 25, 30 pounds.
Wow. Oh, look at him right there attacking a hog, huh? Look at him fighting. Go back. My God, look at them fighting.
They're bad.
Now, have you witnessed some good animal fights? And be honest there.
I've had my dog. I've been out before. My dog get attacked by a raccoon, and they're pretty. I mean, they're vicious. They won't let a bad raccoon will, instead of running, he'll just rear up on his back, lay down his back and fight.
Oh yeah.
But that way he's got his back covered on the ground and fight. I mean,
it's almost like they teach you in MMA to kind of do that. This episode is brought to you by Modify and the last website you'll ever need. Yep. It's the last website you will ever need. Think about that. Think about a website. And that's the only time you need to do it. Because Modify will take it from there. They're like a warm blanket of comfort once you get involved with them. They built my website, theovon.com. You don't have to do anything. Modify's last website plan features no cost to build, no contract, 45-day turnaround, unlimited revisions and support, easy editing tools, free redesigns, satisfaction guaranteed, all for just $249 a month. Yep, $249 a month. It really seems to be good to be true. Can't take my sight off of you. Yep. And they'll fix your logo up too. That's right. To learn more about the last website you'll ever need, visit modify.com/Theo and get a $250 credit when you subscribe for your world-class website. Again, that's Modify with a PH, modiphy.com/Theo. These guys don't F around, gang. I'm going to let you know that the new Be Good to Yourself hoodies are sold out, but they'll be back in stock next week. The original Be Good to Yourself hoodie is back and in stock now. That's the green and yellow. Summertime designs are coming soon. We also have the new Get the Hitter merch. You can check it out. Go to theovonstore.com. One other announcement. We want you to nominate single moms. If you have a single mom you think could use a little bit of help, don't let her know. Don't take the fun out of it. Don't take the fun out of it. But let us know, and let us know why you think she could use some help. Send in a video to tpwproducer@gmail.com or go through theovon.com. There's a way to upload a video through there. We have an initiative this year to be in the wallets of some single mothers out there so they can do something fun with their kiddos. It's close to our heart, and we know that it's close to yours. Also, send in funny videos from TikToks or anything you see that's wild out in the universe. That's right. Go to theovon.com and submit it through the video site. Say, hey, I want you guys to finesse about this or chat about this, and we will do it. All right, now back to the show. When I was growing up, rabies was a big deal. Mm-hmm. It was just popular. You would constantly hear about it, the fear of it, what was going on. And then I get a text from somebody maybe a year ago, and they said rabies is kind of making a comeback. Mm-hmm. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, it's rabies in Kentucky, in my area of the state. It's gotten worse over the last couple of years.
Oh, Christ.
As in I don't know of people cases, but animals getting tested and getting the rabies at the fox, raccoon, skunk, and coyotes are all in the rabies vector, and we have to euthanize those now because there's such a high number of rabies cases with them.
Now, you roll up on one of these, right? One of these, something that's rabid. How do you know out of the gate
I got a call last week from a car dealership at home. Hey, we got this raccoon, or excuse me, it's skunk. We're getting animals mixed up. It was a skunk. They said,
Oh, look, if a skunk gets its nails done, it's almost a damn raccoon. I'll tell you that.
Well, it's in the middle of the parking lot at 12 o'clock in the afternoon at lunchtime.
Yeah.
And it's walking around in circles. It's falling down. It's stumbling. It's stomping, which is something they do when they're threatened. They'll rear up and take their feet and stomp the ground.
It's basically like seeing like somebody that's cracked out on drugs.
And it's spraying. It's spraying some scent.
Oh, hell yeah.
Spraying its essence, which I call it. It's skunk spray. And it's doing that. And I thought, well, it's showing signs it's either got distemper or it's rabid.
Damn.
And so I come out and I put my gloves on. I brought a cage, put a cage down over next to it, and I took some 6-foot tongs, which is like just big grabbers, and just kind of pushed it into the trap, shut the lid, and done deal. But you don't know if it's showing signs of either being distemper or rabid.
Now, a rabid animal has to be euthanized or taken.
Yes, sir.
Taken control. Like there's no cure for rabies.
I have to, in my part of the state, I have to euthanize the skunks because there's so many of them have been found with rabies that if I capture one, one in the wild is one thing, but once I capture one, we have it, they want me to euthanize it.
Right, because then it could really infect a person at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's not afraid of people. It's coming around your house. You don't want to let that one go. So you don't want to relocate it because it could have rabies, it could have another disease, and then you would transmit that to the rest of the population in that area.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's...
Oh, yeah, if it's out there stomping its feet in a parking lot at noon, I mean, it'll be washing your damn windows at fucking 4 p.m. on Main Street.
Nocturnal animal. A raccoon. You see a raccoon out in the middle of the
daytime,
day, something's wrong.
That's a big sign. Now, so once you get that animal... Now, to euthanize, you take it to a certain place. Is there like kind of like a bag and gas kind of vibe, or is it?
I mean, the state lets us do different types of euthanasia.
Understood.
Gas chambers are most popular, which is just CO, and and it just puts them to sleep.
Oh yeah, we used to have a carbon monoxide leak over at my buddy Jeff's house, dude, and so nobody knew, right? This was in 94, 5, baby, And we just started smoking weed. We didn't even know about huffing gas, And next thing you know, man, we go over there. We fall asleep on Friday, wake up on Sunday, baby boy. You know what I'm saying, bro? I mean, dude, I woke up. I felt damn 9 months old, dude. I felt so good, man, because he had a gas leak in there, So every now and then, a little bit it's not horrible, but it's
a lot will kill you.
Yeah, a lot will kill you. Now, if you have that's a raccoon being rabid. Well, how do you know some of these other animals are rabid?
Well, I mean, a raccoon will act the same way.
A what?
No,
you said we already said raccoon. We're
talking about skunk.
Oh, that was a skunk.
Yeah, the skunk's the one I captured in the parking lot.
Oh,
that was that it's showing signs of being sick, either distemper or rabies. I kind of treat them all like they got something, just like in my EMS fire department setting, like on a wreck. You treat everybody like they got something. That way you're always covered. Amen. You always wear PPE. You always wear your gloves. You don't say, well, he don't have it, don't need him. You treat everything like it's got it. So whenever I handle the animals, I always got my gloves on. You treat all of them like they would have rabies, just you don't take the chance.
Now, when you're going on these house calls and stuff, well, how about this? What's the love life like? Is it hard to meet a woman when you're in the animal world? Did you ever meet a woman on a call that you ended up taking on a date sometime?
Yeah,
I could
I'm
imagine.
Married, so I can't take too many on dates.
Oh, you're married now, huh?
Oh, yeah. I've been married for 23 years.
Did you meet your wife through animals?
No. I met her, oddly enough, cruising the parking lot back in the good old days, back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
We all used to cruise. That's where
Would y'all cruise Sonic? What'd they have?
Kmart's.
Oh, dang, really?
Kmart's, yep.
Dude, we used to meet up at a Michael. They had like Michael's craft store, and we'd always meet up over by Michael's, out in front of Michael's on like Friday or Saturday.
She don't like telling that story. I mean, we met cruising in the parking lot, and it went from, I told her that night I was going to marry her. And she just laughed at me, and here we are. Been married 23 years, and we were together for about 2 years before that. So, and she likes it. She's not. Some of my animals aren't her favorite. Mm-hmm. I mean, she doesn't like go on call. She'll go maybe with me to check a trap. She won't get out of the truck. I'll tell you a quick little story. I had a bunch of, when we were allowed to relocate still, we got a 500-acre farm.
Okay.
And I would let
Now, when you say
raccoons-
you're allowed to relocate, just to clarify so I know what we're saying. Does that mean you're allowed to take animals and keep
like
them?
if I had some raccoons, I could relocate them on an approved area. They had to be 100-plus acres, and it had to be landowner permission, and I could release them.
And so that was something that was allowed by the state
my area,
for your
yeah.
job in your area. It's
Yeah.
no longer allowed.
No, not on those certain animals or rabies vector animals.
Okay.
So, I mean, if I catch a groundhog, I can release it.
Right.
If I catch a squirrel, I can release it.
But some animals you cannot.
Raccoons, skunk, I can't release them.
Not anymore.
So, anyway, I had about 6 or 7 raccoons, and I had my wife with me. I said, well, you video this will make a good video. So I said, you video it, and I'm going to let him go. And so she's all, here he is, sitting this, and I get the trap out, and I set it down, and it runs off, and she's videoing, it runs off in the woods. And I do 2 or 3 like that, and then I get one up, and I said, this one's for you, baby. I turn around, let it go, and it went right next to her feet. Scared her to death, screamed. That was the last time she went with me when we let animals go.
That'll do it,
She was a
man.
little bit upset over that. She just scared. Now, my daughter be right there. I'll bring in kit raccoons, and my daughter, she'll play with them and hold them, and she's all into animals. But I liked letting them go. I mean, that was the better alternative.
Yeah.
I had to do what the state requires me to do.
Right.
So some of it's not always good, but
What's an animal in? Look, you can also, you don't have to. Have you ever seen somebody that had an animal they're not supposed to have, and you let it slide? That's their business. That's their deal.
yeah, I don't enforce. I don't care what. I mean, I've been to people's houses and they've had pet deer and pet raccoons. I mean,
What about something bigger than that?
I'm in.
Something bigger than that I'm talking about. Have you ever seen anything, somebody got a damn, and you could just blink at me if you have.
I mean, animals or other stuff.
Animals or other stuff.
Well, I've seen a lot of other stuff.
Oh, yeah, I have too,
I've
brother.
seen full-fledged meth labs and.
Oh,
places
hell
before.
yeah.
I go into.
Have you ever rescued a rat or something out of the attic of a meth lab?
Actually, I did. In a town. I won't name the town. I was doing a bat inspection on a apartment complex.
Yeah.
It was a
Let me say-
low income housing apartment. It just it's government run.
Look, if I'm on
complex.
meth, dude, I promise you, I definitely think there's bats around, baby. Let's go.
So I go into this place and I'm looking. He says, "Well, they had a bat call, and so I'm certain they had like 18 buildings, 2-story buildings. So I'm going through the attics of all. It took all day long to inspect all the attics. So I go to this one house, and I was like, nobody's here in this apartment. He said, "Oh yeah, we hadn't got this cleared to rent back out yet." And I was like, okay. And the maintenance guy's downstairs, and I'm walking through the structure, and I get up to the attic, and I get my ladder, open the door up, and I said, "Well, what's with the white paint and all these little cards hanging?" And he said, "Oh, that's where we had a meth lab up here, and they came in and decontaminated it, and they spray. I really don't know it. They seal everything up with type of paint that if something's in the wood from that meth lab, it seals it up to where." It can't harm anybody anymore.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And so I go up into this attic, and it's all like this, just bright white in here, and it's got all these little cards hanging that's supposed to detect any type of chemicals if something's still lingering.
Interesting.
So, and I was like, okay, it's
Like a
meth
litmus
lab.
paper almost of sorts.
Yeah, it's just like it had just an indicator. If it detected something, it changed colors or had a little gate meter on it. So that was a meth lab had been cleaned up, and that was a different one. But I've found full-fledged ones before. I mean, I go into $1 million homes, and I go into places that ought to be burnt to the ground. But I
And
mean, it's everybody's house.
And if people's doing meth, that's their business. You don't deal with that.
I'm there for the animal. People, oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm here at the meeting. I'm like, no, I don't. I mean, I've seen, you name it, I've seen it.
Really?
And I just, when I go into the house and I'm looking for a bat,
Yeah.
I'm not in your kitchen. I'm going underneath your bed.
Right.
I'm going in your closets. I'm looking into places that usually people don't look in your house.
So you probably
So I
seen
had
some
to
wild
ignore
stuff.
a lot
huh?
of stuff. Yeah.
A lot of drug paraphernalia.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you see everything. Some stuff, they're like, oh, they'll be like, oh my God, here, I'm sorry, didn't know you was gonna look here, and I'm like, dude, I don't care. Don't
You ever seen
worry
anybody
about it.
hide in that person's house or something like that?
No, but I see where they've hid stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that they don't want people to know. I go up in the attics and I find, you'll find stocks old nudie books up in the attics from
yeah,
years
baby.
ago, old beer cans, sex toys.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
seen those
sure.
hidden up in that. I mean, everything over. I mean, you do it long enough, you find I'm underneath the houses. I'm in the attics. I'm crawling through the closets looking for stuff. And,
You're in the
you're
nooks
going to
and-
run into stuff.
You're in the nooks and crannies, baby, at that
And
point.
some of it's kind of nasty, you know,
Yeah.
when you're in there. I mean, if I'm at a place doing a rat job, you know, good houses, clean places can get rats. I mean, they're there for the food source. But if you have a dirtier environment, it's going to attract more bugs, rats, mice, and it just gets nastier.
Have you been in some places that it gets pretty bad? Take me on a tale.
Oh, I did a single wide trailer several years ago, way out in the country, rural setting, and the complaint was rats. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, and I got my stuff, so I'll come out and do an inspection. And so I come out, and they got chicken coop right in the backyard. Chickens running around right next to the trailer, piles of cracked corn feeding their chickens. Mm-hmm. They got multiple dogs outside, great big bowls full of dog food. And I said,
This could be my sister, honestly.
So I know where the rats are going to be there.
Oh, you know already where they're going to be
Well,
there?
I know they're there because of food source.
Okay, right.
Dog
So all that
food,
cracked corn.
dog food, crack, they got to have a food source.
Got it.
And so I go inside, and as soon as I open the door up, I seen a rat run through.
Damn.
And so here's this man and woman in the house and had two children, an older child and a younger child. And it wasn't the cleanest of conditions, but
Right.
I mean, I can't judge.
Right,
I'm
look-
not there to judge how anybody is, you know, and I'm just there to do my job. And so I talked to her and started investigating. It was so bad in one room that I went in the room, and there was my generation, though, when you used to have to take top off a soup lid, soup. You'd have to take the can. Now they're just peel
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
You
You used
pull
to
the
have to cut
thing.
that
Just
top off
Yeah,
and
you
get a
had to
little
cut
crank.
the top off. When I said, "Why are there soup lids nailed all around the walls on the base at the baseboard?" Oh, that's where the rats chew through. And each time they chew a new hole, we nail a soup can lid over top of that hole. So I knew this was going to be a bad job. I mean, it was such a bad infestation that I'd catch a rat and it would get eaten before I got there. She'd get up in the morning and check all the traps and say, okay, we got some rats. And so I'd schedule it to come over there. When I would get there, I found just like the back legs left bones. The rats they'll cannibalize each other.
Now, will they only cannibalize each other once they've been caught, so they don't like give any information
Well, the
away?
other one's not going to sit still long enough unless it dies.
But I don't know what I'm saying is like, do the rats realize, okay, you know, Henry or whatever got caught, we got to kill him so he doesn't tell anybody else. So he
Or if
doesn't-
he's already dead, or here, Henry, he's food, we're going to eat him now. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, Mother Nature's cruel. Once again, you know, it's cannibalize each other, the rats. But I mean, and they're there for the food source, and left uncontrolled, they'll get in your walls and ceilings. And, you know, I think we end up catching 30, 40 rats out of there and got rid of all of them.
Now, have you ever had anybody? I'll tell you this. This is in New York City. I'm in New York City. And I met a man from Iowa who his friend sold the penis. He sold raccoon penis necklaces. This is what the man told me right in the street. And I thought that first man was crazy, and then I got his phone number, you know, because it sounded interesting. And I haven't even looked at my phone in years, but I bet it's in there. And have you ever had anybody call you and say, hey, you know, Mr. Voiers, will you help me collect some of the, you know, I'm trying to do something, or I'm going into a business, you know, rabbit's feet or something. Will you help me collect an item along the way?
I could have brought some for you. I got a whole box of coon penises.
Do you
coon
really?
peckers. Yeah. I save them every time. When I don't, the fur value is so bad now, the market's just nil.
And how much fur is on a raccoon penis?
Well, I mean, for the animal, like in the wintertime, like for fur trapping, I catch a raccoon and I'll skin it out and keep the fur and sell it in an fur auction.
Oh, okay.
This getting outside the wildlife bit. This is a trap, back to the just trapping part, and you skin it out, dry it out, and sell it at auction. Where they used to back in the 70s, you might have got $30-$40 for a raccoon pelt. Now you get,
just the pelt.
Yeah, just a pelt. Now you might. Last year's auction I went to, they were 50 cents up to $5.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's not worth I don't spend the time to do it.
Right,
I don't go out and specifically trap for them. But when I do it, and when I do, if I catch one, I'll take it back, skin it out, and if it's a boar, I'll keep the pecker. I mean, they're worth. I mean, there's guys that buy them. They make toothpicks out of them.
Really?
Yep. You have to make toothpicks out of them.
Can you pull up a picture of that, Sean? Raccoon penis toothpick. And so is it, how much bone is on that penis, brother? Be honest
About
with
like a pencil. I mean, you'll.
Wow.
Let me show you. It's. I could have brought one. You should have. I wish we talked about that. I'd have brought you one.
So that's raccoon penis right there. Damn, that's hardy.
Yep.
Coon dick toothpick. Damn. That baculum, brother.
It's. I mean, they're. About, you can sell about every part of the animal. And the skull's worth, and that the guys that do it, the skull's worth something. The glands are worth something. Actually, some places I think in Louisiana, I thought they sell raccoon meat. A lot of people eat raccoon. I
haven't had it.
I've never tried. I've eaten groundhog. I've eaten bobcat back straps, but I've never tried the raccoon.
How's bobcat? I've had pelican and I've had dove.
Yeah, it just tastes like meat. I mean, you could. I mean, I know guys in trapping groups I'm on Facebook. They've tried a coyote backstrap.
Wow.
But I mean, a backstrap's a backstrap. I mean, it's all meat once you get the hide off of it. It's meat. But to each their own. We tried bobcat just for the hay. We tried it, but that's something I wouldn't eat. We eat every day. My grandparents. I used to hear my grandparents talk about eating groundhogs all the time. Oh, get that young groundhog. Oh, eat that. And I've actually had groundhog years ago. It's all right, but I know I've eaten beaver, but the animal.
I got you. Yeah.
Before we go anywhere.
No, I feel you.
And it's a good dark red meat. It's really good. You make beaver stew, make roast. Yeah, it's a really good meat. Out of anything that you would trap outside. I mean, we do nuisance trapping for beavers too.
Okay.
But in the winter, in fur trapping, well, no, I like beaver trapping. It's a good meat. It's a good red meat. It's a really good meat.
I haven't had that. I'm sure I could probably get into it in this area, because I spend about half the year out here now, it looks like. I'm sure I'll be able to get into, just more option for that meat. The further west you get, they don't want you having any meat.
I mean, you can't go to the grocery store and buy it, but you can buy it out at, I'm sure select places or track. It's not USDA inspected stuff.
No, dude, I don't want it to be. You know what I'm saying, man?
It's good. No,
I want that bootleg stuff. I want the guy who's got a cooler on his passenger seat.
Bootleg beaver, man. There you go.
I've had some, brother. That's for sure. So tell me about this though. When you get the bone of the raccoon, the penis, do they? Have anybody ever made like a thing of necklaces or?
I'm sure they have.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't. But I'm sure there's people out there have.
It's amazing they have that much penis on them.
They make a lot of teeth, like coyote teeth. They'll make necklaces out of them, bear teeth. Yeah, I mean, there's a necklace out of one.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yep.
God, it's beautiful.
I mean, once you polish it and clean it up, it's just bone.
Yeah.
Just knowing where it come from or what it is. I mean, if I laid that out there, you would never know what it was. I mean, unless you've studied that or looked at it, you'd never know what that was.
Oh, hell no. I'd have stirred, dude.
You can get on eBay and buy them.
Oh, I'd stir preserves with that thing, brother. I wouldn't have, yeah.
You can get right on there and you can buy. I mean, you can look on eBay and buy coon peckers. I mean,
what's the largest, what is the largest animal penis you've seen that's out there? And I won't tell anybody.
Oh, okay. I mean, probably a coyote.
Wow.
I mean, we don't skin them. I mean, I don't take those out, but when you skin them, you got to skin around it. I mean, it's bigger than the raccoon. The bone part is bigger than the raccoon.
So some animals have bone in their penis, huh?
Yeah.
But we don't have it.
I mean, that's the animals. I don't know what all animals. I'm not that.
And here you go right here. Now let's zoom in on that, brother.
Yeah, there's the coyote.
Let's go down this penis bone chart. Just let's get a look at it here. Let me see what we got here. Damn, now Otter's got that heater on him, huh? Otter's got that dang rudder.
Yeah.
Wow. Badger got that interesting piece on him. That red fox don't have much on him, dude. R.I.P.
Or the weasel.
Yeah, that weasel ain't got nothing, boy. I'll tell you, look, I'll be real honest about where I am on this chart. I'm probably about a badger. I'm in between badger and otter.
I'm not going to say
All right.
No comment.
Okay. No worries, man. No worries. I'm just trying to be, maybe I'm a little more badger. Okay, I'll be honest with you, bro. I'm a little more badger, bro. We got another question that came in from one of our listeners, man. We had so many questions that came in for you. We won't get to all of them, but some of them we do have here.
Yo, TPW. Hi, how's everyone doing? My name is BK, originally from East Africa. I've got 2 questions for the wildlife control fella. The first one is, have you been on a call where somebody decided to keep a wild animal as a pet and then changed their mind? Something like a monkey or maybe something crazier. And if so, what was that experience like? My second question is, what are your thoughts on people keeping birds as pets? You know, things like parrots.
Yeah, what do you think about that? My stepdad, his first wife, she was really, I don't know what was wrong with her, but she had countless birds and then he left her. But what do you see a lot of that? Who has birds? Who has birds? That's a good question. Who has birds?
I have 5 birds.
Okay.
My daughter, we all have them. We're family pets.
Now, how big are these and how loud are they?
We have 2 parrots. She'll kill me if I say this wrong. Indian ringnecks.
Okay.
Parrots. We have 2 of those. One of them's talking. The other one's young. They hadn't talking yet. Echo, he's quite talkative. We discussed talked about bringing something with me, and it said the hotel probably wouldn't like that. And I asked my daughter, she said, only if I can come. She wasn't sending the bird.
Well, maybe next time we'll have her come too, man.
But,
that's a beautiful bird.
Yeah, we have a blue one and a green one. Yeah.
Oh, they're beautiful. And so now, do you rescue these out of people's homes?
No, these weren't rescues.
Okay.
She does have she's got a couple parakeets, different types of parakeets, and we have a lovebird, which came from an animal rescue. It came from it's a bird rescue, and I think it'd been abused. It was mishandled, wasn't handled properly, and it's like 7 years old. And
love is a battlefield, brother.
Yeah,
isn't it?
and she got it. I mean, there's animal rescues where parrots weren't taken care of. Big macaw. Just animals aren't just like dogs and cats can get abused, where animals aren't taken care of, mistreated, and they're given up.
Now, what about show animals? Anybody, sometime you see, like I know they had a cat show for a while out there near Fresno. They got busted and they shut down and had to disband and get rid of a lot of the cats and a lot of the, there's people you see. I know you mentioned earlier they got squirrels. I remember out at, I don't know if it was Dollywood or someplace in Arkansas. They used to have that little, the squirrel on the water skis, a little deal they put out there at recess or whatever, lunch, and you could throw a little barbecue chips at them or whatever. But have you had any animals have you had any shows that have shut down in your area, any magicians, and you had to go rescue the dove or anything like that, or reach into a hat to, like anything you've had to do, like where the performance animals?
Well, I did get a call about white rats. And they were obviously domesticated rats that somebody let go. And there's quite a few of them in this kind of a neighborhood, but they were coming to one house.
Okay.
And I mean, I caught all of them just like I do any other rats, but they were all white. So
and
they
what did
were
that mean?
A domesticated
they were doing what?
rat that somebody couldn't care for, and they just released it.
Okay. But you don't know if they were in shows or anything.
Oh, no, they wasn't in a show. No, I don't. Not where they were at. They weren't in the show. I've never had to get anything that somebody had in a show or something that was released. Now, I think in Ohio a couple of years ago, a guy let something, don't know what he was unhappy about, but he had a lot of exotic cats, and he let everything go. And I think they ended up having to euthanize most of them. They were just, you let a cougar go, you got, or a lion, you can't. They're going to get somebody that I think they euthanized most of it. But that was somebody that just let pets go that they shouldn't have had to start with.
Okay. So take me into the big cat game. What's that like when you get some of these big cat calls? And what kind of cats do you deal with?
I mean, the only cats I deal with are bobcats.
Now, are they violent?
Oh, they're out of all and back goes into the trapping part of it. I catch a coyote. They try to get away from you. I mean, if they're caught, they're going to be as far. If they have 3 foot of chain or cable attached to that trap or a snare, they're going to be as far away as they can get from you, cowered away from you. Bobcat comes after you.
Really?
Bobcat, they'll flat come after you.
Here's a question right here that came in about one. Video of them, actually. Oh, there's a video of you right here dealing with one.
Okay.
And is it chained down to the ground right now?
It's caught in a foot trap.
Okay.
and I like the red fox. I don't like the.
So this is a red fox. This isn't a bobcat.
Yeah, that's a red fox. I like the red fox. They are on the euthanasia list in the nuisance part. Now this is fur trapping, just regular. I'm trapping under my trapper's license, and I'll release all them when possible because there just don't see as many of them, and I just use a choke pole, and so I let him loose, and he's
off
to live another day.
There was I ran into a girl a couple of months ago in Los Angeles, and she had a fox fur coat, and she was kind of wearing it late at. She didn't want to tell everybody. She told everybody it was fake, but then I felt like it wasn't fake. I touched it, and I felt like, I said, I don't know. I've felt some fake stuff before, and it felt like real stuff.
Oh, they're very nice.
So she admitted to me secretly she'd been doing drugs, but she told me secretly that it was real. So
there's a lot of the fur industry is really gone. You'll see more actors, singers, sporting fur, sporting bobcat. That's the biggest thing. I have several bobcats that I've held on to that I want to have made into a vest or a coat, and I have some black coyotes that I've trapped over the years.
Wow!
And I want to have kind of like a black coyote backing and bobcat front.
I'd buy something like that from you if you ever made one.
The fur coat, like the bobcats I sell, that all the fur goes for the fur industry. Most of it ships to like China and Russia for liners for fur coats or jackets. But like the bobcat, there's a guy that used to buy mine out of Lexington, Kentucky, that makes custom furs, coats and stuff, and he buys the bobcats for that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's secretly still a pretty big business or not.
A lot of people are down on it.
But a lot of people like it too,
and a lot of people are down on what we do. People don't like the trapping. Yeah, it injures them sometimes. It catches them by the foot. It does hurt. It does do more. The more they fight, the more they might hurt themselves. But I've actually got in places to trap before, farms to trap in the winter by taking a trap and sticking my hand in it, and just usually like a number 2 when it's not real hard, powerful. It don't break the bones, it don't feel good, but that lets somebody know, okay, well, if a dog does get caught in, it's not going to break its foot off.
Right.
And if I'm willing to stick my hand in it, they're willing to let me track because they don't fear, well, if the cat gets it, it's not going to kill the cat.
Right.
It just won't like it very well, but it'll be able to be released unharmed. It's kind of strange that, I do that, but some people do that. Trapping's getting harder and harder to find places to trap.
Well, it's weird that we're part of nature, but we sometimes act like we're this more conscious part of nature, I guess. Because it's not like you probably have some raccoons that won't come in and kill the babies to get the mother to go back in. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you don't have these other dirty parts of nature that run its course. I have a friend who does some big game hunting, and he talks about how a lot of times the conservation, the place you go to hunt whatever it is, you have to pay like $500,000 to do it. And the money you pay, it's usually a sick animal that you're killing or an old animal that's not procreating or anything
one
anymore.
out of the group. Yeah.
Yes. And so the money you're going to pay is going to take care of 500 other animals. It's just interesting sometimes how one news article sometimes just won't give you all the facts, so at least you can have a little bit more information.
And they'll feed, they'll take that animal too, and they'll feed the whole village.
Right. Oh, totally. Yeah. They won't even. They might they might get some part of the animal taxidermied or get a photo or something like that for their relic. But they're gonna. Yeah. But that the food from that could feed the entire village, and also, but the money for the conservation group is gonna. It's gonna help so many more animals live. It's almost unbelievable,
The hunters help. That money goes for the preservation, to keep the poachers away.
Totally.
The fence or whatever.
And you need it. Look, I'll tell you this. I was in South Africa. This is probably maybe 7 years ago, doing comedy shows over there. And we met a man one day, and he was rich. This man was rich, man. Him and his wife had run a diamond mine. Or mine, and maybe it was a damn diamond mine, maybe it was damn Indiana Jones, but they had run something where they had made a ton of money, but they owned a nature preserve, their own. I mean, and this dude took us in a helicopter over there, and I actually ended up hooking up with his girlfriend one time. I still feel pretty bad about that. But anyway, this man took us over to their nature preserve, and he took us around. I mean, the biggest animals. He might have had damn dinosaurs. I don't remember what he had, but I mean, he had rhinoceros, everything. You know, giraffe. I mean, we pull right up next to him, and they were his in his damn yard. I mean, his yard, I'll admit, was probably 50,000 acres or something, but it was a yard. Fast forward 2 weeks, he sends me a picture. The 2 rhinoceros we'd seen, somebody broken in and sawed their horns off with a chainsaw and just left the bodies right there to rot. Yeah. And he said poachers had gotten in and gotten them. And it was
they're trying to protect them and get the people there poach them just to sell that little bit of ivory off of them.
Right. So it's just interesting. It's like one thing's going to happen. It's just nature. It's like this part of nature is going to happen. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to do another part of it. You have to just it's about managing nature.
Yeah. See, that's what it's got to get away from the wildlife part. Like my trapping. My daughter doesn't like me getting all the animals but she loves animals.
Right.
But we keep them in check. This year I trapped 66 coyotes.
Wow.
And over the course of the 4-month trapping season, think how many coyotes I took out of the population, all those females, which over half of them were females. And you're going to have all those young, all the baby deer that I saved, all the young turkeys that I saved, I do a lot of work for sheep farms and all the baby sheep.
Oh, sheep will get attacked. And sheep is just a damn fucking throw pillow full of dinner, dog. They'll get them bitches immediately.
So we got to keep it in check. Everything's got to be kept in check, or if not, it'll like the deer. I mean, that's why they have deer seasons, and they keep upping the quota. If they didn't have a deer, if you weren't allowed to kill a deer, your insurance, that's what makes your insurance cost so much now is all the wrecks.
Right.
I mean, where I live at, deer collisions are horrible. I mean, I've got friends that have hit 10 different deer in their life, totaled cars. I mean, they're there, and if we didn't have these seasons to keep them in check, there'd be just that much more of them on the roads, crossing the roads, just like all the other animals. If there wasn't, but it's all in a balance.
Right.
Like the groundhogs are starting to make a comeback.
And why are they doing it? What's going on?
Their main predator was the coyote.
Oh, so by killing off the coyotes.
So if you take too many, it messes up the cycle. You take too many coyotes out, and then the groundhogs are going to get overpopulated.
Damn.
So, everything's got a spot. Everything's got a little spot in that food chain. But, they have to be kept in check. People, it's part of it. Mother Nature does it herself with disease and stuff. We're just giving her a little helping hand.
No, look, I think it makes perfect sense. Like you're saying, if you don't take those coyotes out, then how many more turkeys do they get into? How many more baby deer do they kill? How many more chicken houses? Just different things. How many more different circles will they mess up?
Bobcats. A bobcat take down a full-grown deer.
Damn.
A bobcat goes for the neck. Well, a cat goes for the neck. Canines usually go for the rear. They bite. They attack from the rear. But a bobcat they'll take down, and pets, both of them will take down. Coyotes are big pet killers. Because cats, we got cats that are around dogs. I have a little healer. The cat's not scared of the dog. So a coyote could walk right up to a cat and just take it with it because the cat not scared of it.
Because they're the same species?
Well, where they're used to. My cat's used to dog. Most cats are used to. Cats that are outside are used to. I'm not talking about bobcats now. I'm like a domesticated house cat.
Okay.
Are used to dogs, and so if a coyote walks through your yard and the cat's there, the cat's like, "Hey, what's up?"
Oh, you see, just a dog.
Yeah, and it thinks it's just a dog, and bam, coyotes are starting to come into our neighborhoods and eating the pets because they're easy meals.
Wow.
And they'll eat small dogs. They'll eat that. Bobcats don't know if they'll eat another cat if it's out and if they can get to it. They'll eat. They're a hunter. They'll eat whatever they can come across.
My God.
But they kill. I've seen videos on cameras where coyotes were attacking deer, bobcats were attacking deer.
Do you feel sometimes like we're kind of ruining the world and that it's like kind of a bummer that we're in it? Not in a bad way, but just do you ever have that moment where you're like, man, nature'd be so much better?
We're in their world. We're asking them to live in their area.
That's your jury. Look, I think you have you got a unique position because you're that, you're kind of that middleman. You're that middleman where it's like, hey, man, whenever, somebody starts, stepping on when it's, Red Rover, a coyote came over, you know what I'm saying? You're the guy they call.
Yeah.
Like you're that freaking, you're the referee kind of.
Yeah.
So I think getting your perception is interesting that, we're kind of, so you would say it feels like we're on their turf in the world.
Yeah. I mean, we're bats. We'll go into bats. They'll live in trees. I mean, bats are everywhere and they'll live in trees.
Are they really?
And the more trees and structures that we remove to build houses and whatnot, they're going to come live in your house.
Right.
Once again, it's just a big tree to them.
Mm-hmm. Here's a question we got that came. Oh, there's some video right here. Are you dealing with one of them?
Yeah,
it's a photo.
Yeah, that's one I removed from a house.
Wow.
I mean, they have canines. If you see their teeth, I mean, they have canines just like a dog. I mean, they got the big canine teeth.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they can inflict a pretty good bite on you. Man. So I mean, don't ever you see a bat, don't just call the professionals and let them. I've got on protective gloves. You get bit by him and he flies off, you're getting rabies shots, and you don't want to have to go do that. That's pretty nasty shots.
Have you seen someone die of rabies?
No, I haven't. I know several people personally have had rabies. I've done a couple of jobs where the people had such a bad bat problem, they've gotten bit and already had to get rabies rabies shots and still haven't got rid of the bats.
Damn.
So just some people I don't know, just don't understand, aren't educated, or slow learners. Or if I got rabies shots, I'd probably be getting rid of the bats if I had them that bad.
Yeah, I think.
But I mean, they can bite you if you have one in your living space. I mean, they could bite you and you not know it when you're asleep.
Damn,
enough to
really?
Just a little prick and you not notice it, and there you go. So
have you had any senior citizens living with animals they didn't know they were living with, like any crazy instances like that?
I had an elderly lady that she kept hearing something, and there was a possum in her house. It had come in through one of the vents in the bedroom that she hadn't used for a while, pushed the vent up, and it was running around the house. She actually thought it was a cat. But she just caught
always think that.
Glimpses of it. But I mean, other people, I mean, that was actually living in the house with her.
Amen.
And the other ones would be under the house and in. I mean, raccoon. I've had a customer sent me they sent me a message, texted me, said, we got a raccoon problem, can you help? And I said, yeah. And I said, well, it's a raccoon. And they sent me a picture. The raccoon had come through the ductwork into the ceiling in the kitchen, knocked the register out, and when you screw all that ductwork together, you use these big sheet metal screws, and it got itself wedged up in them screws and was hanging there in just a bloody mess, blood where it had been trying to get out all over the ceiling, dripped all over the floor. And she sent me a picture, said, we're pretty sure it's a raccoon. I mean, picture of the damn thing still alive, bleeding all over the place. So
Dang.
I went over as far as quick as I could and was able to put somebody on the bottom when it took the ductwork off and captured it and got it out of there.
Unbelievable.
But they'll get in some pretty predicaments, bad spots.
Now, what's animals you won't deal with? I'm guessing probably, for surely, big, large aquatic, I'm sure isn't your deal. And what else you think isn't?
Under my license, we can't mess
Bear, shark.
We can't deal, in Kentucky, we can't deal with deer, turkey, black bear, elk. We're not allowed to, unless...
Who's that, the police you call?
One of the Fish and Wildlife, unless they give us... Unless the commissioner of Fish and Wildlife says, okay, we'll give you permission to take care of this animal. But normally, those are certain type animals that I can't... Like, somebody's got a black bear, I can't help you.
So you're that middleman, kind of. And now, what's something you won't go down and handle either? I mean, you're not handling pests, really. You're not handling, roaches or even large roaches.
I don't like... I'm scared of spiders.
Okay.
I'd rather go wrestle a bobcat underneath the house than get a spider. I hate spiders. I hate spiders.
Yeah, okay.
My wife thinks it's funny. I'll grab a raccoon with my bare hands and gloves on, but I won't get a spider. I don't like spiders.
Wow.
Each his own. I don't.
But you don't do pests. So you don't do
No, I don't do pest
insects.
control. I'm not licensed, but I'm licensed wildlife. I don't do the bug work. I mean, that's more it's more licensing because you're spraying a chemical inside a house with people.
Do you look down on those people at all? Like, it's kind of easy?
No. I call bug guys. They call me animal guys, but we get a lot of work from the pest control because they get they get pest calls. Somebody gets a raccoon, they look up in the phone book and they call pest control, exterminator. And so then that exterminator calls me and says, "Hey, Marty, we got customers got raccoons. Take care of it."
Right.
Or then I'll go to a house and I'll be doing a job where I find termite damage when I'm in crawl space or something like that. And hey, I recommend this guy.
Yeah.
And then we help each other out. Now
Got
we
it.
pass it back and forth.
Right.
And we just be in professional courtesy and help each other.
I scratch your badger, you scratch mine.
Yeah,
kind of
there
deal.
you go. And
Now-
then some guys do both.
Yeah.
A lot of guys have their pest control license and wildlife license.
Okay.
But I just had the one. But I mean, they're just bigger company. And then pest control is a big business.
Yeah. It
A
seems
lot of
like
business. Yeah.
It seems like it. Would you get calls every day?
Yeah, I'm not big, hundreds of calls a week, but I get quite it varies. You get slow, I might get a bunch of calls and phone might not ring for a day or two. But I've always got jobs going on, so I'm staying.
Right, because some of them take a couple days, couple weeks.
Well,
even.
some of them take a while. Bat jobs. I've got several bat jobs scheduled already for this spring. I'd like to be. I don't want to be busy. I've got one guy. I don't want to be busier than that.
Right.
I don't want to grow too big. I mean, it'd be good to grow, but then you have more people.
You have more responsibility.
More vehicles, more insurance, more liability.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and then I'll be home at laying awake worrying about I got jobs, work for this guy and this guy. I'm gonna make this payment. I'm happy with what I'm doing. Me and one guy, and that keep me happy.
Tim, you said his name is.
Yeah, Timmy Cooper. He's my farm hand. He's my wildlife man. He's home right now putting an engine in one of our race cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're getting ready for race season, so he's working on that right now.
Okay, so the summertime is so what kind of racing you guys do?
Compacts. It's Cavaliers, Hondas. I race a Cavalier.
Okay, so you get out there and
Dirt track racing. Yeah.
So how often do you guys do that?
Every weekend.
'Cause there's a dirt track right over here.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. That was last year's car.
Hawk Racing right there.
Yeah.
Hawk Wildlife Control, and that's your car right there.
Yep, that's my car.
And that's your company.
Yep, that's my company, Hawk Wildlife Control. Yes, sir.
And
And I'm the driver.
amen, baby.
And I've got another car this year, 2 of them this year, and
stay on
Timmy's
that.
going to drive it. Now,
Who is?
Timmy, the guy that works for, he's going to drive the second car.
Okay. And is he and so now let me see what kind of cage. Zoom in on that, please. What kind of
Oh, you're
cage
gonna
you
laugh at
guys?
that. You know what that is? That is I bought that car already built. That is a front of a shopping cart. Look at that. Now look, after I said that and you look at that, that's the front of a shopping cart.
It is upside down. I love it.
Now my new car that
I like this one.
the new car that you got pictures of it too. And it's got a custom built roll cage. I mean, it's top notch. A good friend of mine, Corey Lewis from 1107 Motor Works at home where I live at, he built me a custom. Yeah, that car. He built me a custom cage.
And now, how fast this thing goes?
We'll go 70 mile an hour, 60, 70.
So, what are the rules in this? What is this branch of racing called again?
This is compacts.
So, in
they call them
compacts,
Hornets, compacts, 4-cylinder class. It's 4-cylinder motor.
so only a 4-cylinder
Yeah, it's
motor?
front wheel drive. There's 4-cylinder rear wheel drives and front wheel drives.
So these things, you can't even get them going that fast anyway if you wanted to.
Oh
really?
no, you can spend a lot of money on them. I spent way too much this year. I mean, you can go out and spend $4,000 or $5,000 if you want on having the motor built.
Wow.
Just Ecotech. Just what's running around. They're in Cavaliers, they're in Malibus, those H8. They're in a bunch of different Chevrolet engine, but it's a cheaper class. I mean, you get the Cavalier.
Right, it's affordable.
Yeah, it's affordable class. You go up late model or more modified or sport mod, and you're getting bigger motors.
So
bigger cars.
what cars? So what years and types of cars can be in this class of racing?
Our track rules is it's got to be front wheel drive and 4-cylinder.
That's it.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, take me to a race of that on YouTube, Sean, real quick. I just want to see something.
And we have a local dirt track right there in my home county.
Wow.
And there's several around us. And
How often will you guys race?
I mean, we could race. I mean, we race every Saturday night when the season starts, and then they have other tracks that race on Friday nights, and some race on a Sunday. So we could go all over.
There we
That's
go.
it
Move
right there,
forward,
dirt
son.
track.
Wow, so that's dirt track, huh?
It's fun.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it pretty dangerous or not really?
Yeah, it can. I mean, we wear full fire suit and helmet. I mean, it can. I've never wrecked. Other than hitting cars, I've never had a rollover or gone off. I went off the bank once last year, but they would drive right back on. But I watched a lot of guys get hurt in it. You can get hurt in it.
How much does it cost to be in it?
What, to have the car or just to race?
Yeah, just take me through the costs.
To race, like $30 pit pass, and I'm racing that night.
Wow.
Just entrance fee, and usually we get like if we run the feature, you get a $20 start money. You get $20 back out of that.
If you win.
No, just to start, just to be in the feature. Everybody gets, say there's 15 to feature, you get that start money back, even though you don't win. And then I think our class.
What does feature mean? You get in the top 15?
The big race. You got hot laps. You got your hot laps, and then you hot lap.
Qualify.
Yeah, and you're qualifying, and then you go up to get your feature lap. Then your feature. And sometimes depends on how many cars you have one feature, two features. But our particular track, I think they're paying out this year $800 for first, and $500 for second. And that's a lot of money for a little compact.
Yeah, it is, man. And how long is the race?
But ours is 15 laps.
Wow. So what does that take? Maybe 12 minutes?
Yeah, it takes. You're moving on. Ours is a longer track, and some tracks are shorter. It seems like it's forever when you're out there, and you have a lot of cautions, and you got to sit and wait, or somebody wrecks and they got to clean up drag it off the track, and you'll be waiting. Sometimes you might be out there 20 minutes, but
there's no pit stops or anything like that.
No, you can't. In ours, there's no pitting. There's no. If you go, I've run races with flat tires. Just kept on going till they tell me stop. They'll black flag me, get off the track, and then I'm done.
So anybody with a 4-cylinder car could go get a pit pass and get in that race.
Yeah, as long as it's got a approved, roll cage approved, and you got your safety gear, they'll get in. And some of them inspect them pretty close, but you got to have a helmet, and you got to have safety, your clothes, fire extinguisher. But it's a fun. Dirt track has been in my area for years and years.
Yeah, my
they had
stepbrother.
bombers and stock cars, bombers, and now it's just an affordable class. It's just one that my first car I paid $1,200 for it, ready to race. It borrowed a helmet and was racing. Yeah. And this year I built bought an old car, motor blowed up, and had it all fixed up and repainted, and new body panels put on it. And then putting in having the motor built, put in it, and all new cage built, new racing seat, and it's just a fun way.
So now you're getting into it.
I'm advertising. It's business. It's a write off from a business.
I like it.
Wife likes that. It's a write off. It's fun. Blow off some steam.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Honey, I got to go do some advertising tonight.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
There's quite a few wildlife guys actually that I know.
Now you know what would be cool, man, and I'm just gonna give you a free idea here. And this is, you put a cage in the back, you throw a couple animals in that bitch while you're driving.
They probably frown on that.
Well, I don't know, would they? But dude, you want to talk about horsepower? Talk about raccoon power.
There you go. Put a bunch of mean, pissed off raccoons.
Yeah, dude. But damn, that's got 8 raccoons. It's got 280 horsepower, but also has 8 raccoon power in it, baby. It's not a bad idea, really.
Would they pay for the car, really?
There you go.
Catching raccoons and animals help pay for that car.
Let them enjoy it, brother. Let them enjoy the ride, man.
Some people do different things for go out clubbing. We go racing.
Well, then the kids will want to come by and see your car before the race. You know what I'm saying? There would be.
They come down in the pits and they look at the cars and take pictures. I love the kid. We do. There's a thing they call running the track in before the race where they're getting the track ready and it gets a little bit too wet where they water and we go run it in, just dry it out. And we just go slow. We don't go real fast. And we'll take kids. We can have somebody go with us.
Oh, that's cool.
You talking about making a little 10-year-old's day, him riding that car.
I bet.
Oh man, they love it. Get to ride in a race car. We're not NASCAR, but
no, but to them you are.
Yeah, it's for where I'm at. It's kind of like we're NASCAR.
To a
fun.
10-year-old?
It's still a race car.
To a 10-year-old being on a track made out of dirt, which is one of their favorite things.
We have he's I guess 11 now. He's 10. Last year he was racing a compact and he had a sport mod.
Wow.
And he's 10 years old. So,
man, that's beautiful.
They started. I race against a lot of kids that are 10, 12, 14 years old. And here I'm 48 and I'm racing against 10-year-olds.
Oh, look, man, that's the world today, man. It's we got to compete with the young, bro. The competition.
And those are the ones that'll make race car drivers. When they started out young.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, maybe we can leave out if there's a story that you want to tell us, something maybe some like a wild experience that's happened over the years.
Well, the one we were discussed. Get a call from I do a lot of local work, like sheriff departments, police department will give me calls. They get a deer stuck in a fence, or
now will they sometimes call you when they just don't want to deal with something? Sometimes,
well, they're just not their field.
Okay,
I'll get a call like, we got this raccoon and somebody's got a pet raccoon, or they'll call me, or police. This happens a lot. The old I don't have a person at home, residents, and they hear something and think somebody's breaking in. It's a raccoon in their attic. And they think it's a person up there.
Oh, of course.
And so then the cops are, they'll be like, well, we know Marty. Let's, here's his number. And they'll call me, and then I'll come out and try to take care of it for them. But I get a call one night, and it was, I don't know, at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, I get a call from a sheriff's department a couple counties away from their dispatch, said, we need your help. They're on a traffic stop, and they have an unusual occupant in the vehicle. And I said, well, what? And they said, well, they said it might be a deer. I said, okay. So I grab a big dog crate, and my daughter wanted to go. She was still up. We're night owls. And so she goes with me. And so we travel there. It took us about an hour to get there. And I get there, and there's all the cops are all on the side of the road, and they got the guy out there, and they're doing they're still doing a sobriety test on him where he was drunk. And I get up to the car, and there's baby deer in the front seat.
And what was he doing? Just sitting there?
Well, the guy had a pet deer. I mean, the guy's driving around drunk with pet deer in his car.
Oh, hell yeah.
In the front seat. And I think actually they tried, I think they got him for wanton endangerment, maybe, where like a passenger because it's an occupant.
Oh,
but
endangering that animal.
I guess it was tame. I mean, it'd been bottle fed. And so we get the deer out, put it in my truck. And you got pictures. He's got pictures of that. They had it in my truck, bottle feeding it on the way home.
Was it in the front seat or back seat?
It was in the front seat of the car.
Hell yeah,
right in the front seat.
Well,
I even had seatbelt.
Hell, it could have been a damn date, dude. Honestly.
Well,
not to judge.
Young.
Well,
but I mean, he had, like you talked about the bling. It had a big fancy collar on it. They had a little pretty dog collar on it, and
look, it's hard to meet somebody, man, in some areas. No judgment. It is.
But what it found out, the guy had, just like I talked to you before, he found it on abandoned, said it was orphan.
Wow.
Picked it up, and kept it because he didn't think mommy's around. But we kept it for a week or so. My daughter, she bottle fed it, and then we took it to a rehabber. And I didn't check by. I mean, they'll bottle feed them, raise them up, and then turn them loose. Take them out in the wild.
Any wild horses or anything you ever been called, or anything like that? Any
wild
horses?
No.
Trying to think of any other animals that really are. It's nice to know where this middle ground is.
I get turtle calls. I've done some, people just
and what are
complain
they
about
up to?
snapping turtles in their ponds.
Just
don't want snapping turtles in the pond. You have to go.
You get in there?
I don't do turtle man. I don't go in and wrestle the turtles.
And who does that?
Well, the turtle man guy. I don't do the.
Oh, you call a reptile guy?
Yeah, he had a show on. He's from Kentucky. Called
really?
Turtle Man.
Oh, I never saw it.
Yeah, you used to have a TV show on.
Did he?
Yeah. He don't. It's not on anymore. He would go into ponds and actually grab them. Yeah, there you go. He is actually a good friend of my good friend Ronnie Vincent. That helped me get started in the wildlife business. And he actually is a turtle wrangler. That's what he was known for.
Damn.
He goes in there and feels for them and grabs them by the tail and pulls them out. Wow. I just use a jug and a hook and catch them and get rid of them for him.
But it's interesting that the whole field, it seems like, your grandfather kind of got you into dealing with animals. And it's just interesting that in the same way that there's kind of the food chain and Mother Nature, that the way that we learn things from each other, and a lot of it is by another human showing us something. It's like anybody could give you a book or send you a link to a video, but unless you really have somebody kind of showing you, a lot of times it's really how you get into things.
Well, it's that, like the trapping part's a dying thing.
Yeah.
I've had a buddy, he didn't know him at the time, several years ago. He messages me, hey man, I post all my catch pictures in the wintertime on my Facebook page. Everybody wants to see everybody's fascinated with it and just loves to see all the pictures.
We'll put a link to that. What is it?
It's on my Facebook page, Marty Voiers.
All right, we'll put a link to
that.
that.
Then I have my business page, Hawk Wildlife Control. It's on Facebook also. But
Okay.
so he messaged me and said, I like your stuff. Can I get in? Will you help me?
Yeah.
And so for about the next 2 years, he went trapping. We became real good friends. We trapped. I showed him. He didn't know a thing. I mean, his name was Josh Bryan. Maybe he'll get to see this. And we became good friends, and I taught him all about trapping, everything that I've learned over the years, and went out and trapped together for a couple of years, and then he went on his own. Now he traps. So, and hopefully he'll pass. He's got 2 daughters, and hopefully maybe he'll pass that down to one of them, or get to pass it on to. I've helped several kids. No, well, he's not a kid, but I've helped several people like that pass that tradition on.
Right.
Which is a dying tradition.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, you just don't see it any. I mean, who do you know that goes out and traps coyotes in the winter? It's just a dying tradition. Nobody. I mean, it's kind of a. 1 year my wife let me grow a beard. I mean, I had a mountain man, a pretty big.
There you go.
Big full beard. Fun. Can't do it no more. She won't let me.
She won't?
Nope.
Why?
No
What
beards.
happens?
She just don't like the beards.
Yeah.
Oh, I can have a beard if it's neat and trimmed.
Yeah.
And she's going to kill me for talking about her, but I can, if it's all neat and trimmed, I can have
man,
it. But
rules is rules. We need rules, man. We need rules. We
happy
need...
wife, happy life.
There you go. That's what they say. I believe that, man. Now, but tell me this. So a trapper, what does a trapper do? I just want to finish here so I know exactly clearly what a trapper is and what it does.
I mean, trapper versus wildlife, nuisance wildlife.
Right. So when you say like you go trapping coyotes, like what do you like?
So when I'm trapping, I'm fur trapping. There, let me put it fur. Nuisance wildlife, getting rid of animals. I don't keep those furs. If I catch a raccoon, it's out of season.
Right.
I don't keep those animals.
Right.
And fur trapping is in the winter months from November to end of February is fur bearer season when I can go out and trap. You can go out and trap ground or go out and trap coyotes, raccoons, fox, beavers, bobcats.
So it's just the same as hunting season, but it's fur trapping season.
It's fur bearer season, fur
Okay,
trapping
cool.
season.
Interesting.
And it's a lot of young kids. A lot of people do it, the old timers, and pass it on, and just people learn. I mean, there's a million YouTube videos about it, and I mean, I'm still learning stuff every day. I watch new techniques and new methods. Everybody's got their own method on how they trap or baits they use. Or bait and lure business is a huge business.
Is it?
Trapping? Oh yeah, they all make the similar baits, but everybody's got their best bait. And
What's that top bait? You use a lure? What do you use? Chicken liver?
no, it's like on my predator trapping. One of my favorite lures is Jeff Dunlop lures. And he's just a big hardcore trapper and has developed his own baits and lures.
And now, what kind of meat? If you use a meat or something, you use a
Most of the
bean,
lures
maybe a
are made
bean.
with baits are made with like muskrat meat, tainted muskrat meat
Oh, yeah.
that's aged and got preservative in with it,
yeah.
or beaver meat that's tainted a little bit to give off to give off the smell for that predator.
Oh yeah.
So like
yeah.
like bobcat, the muskrat meat based bait.
They like that scrat.
Pardon?
They like that scrat meat.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things they eat.
Right.
They're beavers. Bobcats love beavers.
So let me name something. You tell me what eats it. All right. Groundhog.
coyote,
Okay. Coyote.
a car.
Damn.
Well, I mean, that's they don't have a main predator.
look,
I mean, man's the coyote's predator.
Okay. So the food chain should have a damn Volvo in it, huh?
Yeah, you might say that.
I think that's kind of good, man. Sean, what do you feel like? Any questions today? I feel like we covered a lot of good stuff, man. Do you feel like you gave out a lot of good information?
Yeah. I mean, I had more. I mean, but we kind of got off on other. I didn't know we were going to talk about predator or fur trapping or race, but that's all good. It's all.
Well, it's
about
all
me.
interesting stuff. Some of that is, I think myself and even a lot of our listeners, I would love, I think one day, I didn't know that there was access to be able to go race cars if I wanted to like that. So, to know that if I were to put together, you said it's about a $5,000 automobile you have to put together.
Well, I mean,
huh?
it's you can go out, we get them. I'm always looking for Cavaliers. That's what I race. You get on Facebook Marketplace, I'll find a Cavalier, $800, runs good.
Boom.
I'm gonna snatch that sucker up, you strip the whole interior out, throw your roll cage in it. You can use the stock tires or put racing wheels and tires on it, bead locks. You can zoop up the motor, add some modifications to it, and you got to take all the glass tail lights out of it. Bam, go racing. Slap your. Some guys just take a spray paint can, paint a number on them. Some guys I've got several sponsors, so I'm lucky to. I mean, I don't have a lot, but I got enough to where I can get some real graphics done.
Yeah.
But I mean, anybody can get into it. I mean, you got a little bit of money, you go out and get a car. I don't know. Every track's different. They all have their rules, but this is down home country, dirt track racing.
Yeah.
I mean, Saturday night, I mean, just about every weekend you're going to see a good fight usually. Fights break out. One guy's pissed at the other guy. You hit me and did this and getting the fights. I mean, it's fun. It's all for all. There's babies running around there to people in wheelchairs. I mean, it's fun for all. My daughter's going to go work at our racetrack this year. She's going to help work the gate. So I mean, everybody in the family be involved in it, kind of. So I'll race. She'll be helping with the gate. So it's fun. It's a good way to blow off steam.
Yeah.
I don't club and party, do all that scene. So we go Saturday nights. We go racetrack.
I love that.
So.
I love that, man. No, look, man, I think it's really fascinating stuff. I appreciate you so much, Mr. Voiers, for joining us today.
I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, man, it's really, really cool. And we'll put links to where people can check you out or hire you. And you're mostly in the Kentucky area?
Yeah, I do in Ohio too.
Okay.
Across the river, Ohio River into Ohio.
Okay. So yeah, man, if you guys want to meet the Magic Man, somebody's got to work the middle ground of the animal kingdom, huh?
Yep.
And that's who he is, the middleman himself. Thank you so much, Mr. Voiers.
All right, thank you very much.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh, but when I reach that ground, I'll share this peace of mind I found. I can feel it in my bones, but it's gonna take a little time for me to set that parking brake and let myself unwind. Shine that light on me. I'll sit and tell you my stories. Shine on me, and I will find a song. I will sing it just for you. Too fast on the runaway train with a heavy load of my past. And these rails that I've been riding on, they're worn so thin that they're damn near gone. I guess